Hi everyone, and welcome to part 1 in this series of short videos covering the DIY installation of a wood burning stove into my living room. This first part of the video is going to cover the basic plan, and in a nutshell that plan is to install this wood burning stove you can see in the picture into my living room at the point roughly where you can see it positioned now. So I am going to be following the current building regulations, and after I've installed it I'm going to get the council to sign off the installation, just so I don't have any trouble with the council, etc. The current building regulations are this approved document J. I'll put all the links to these documents in the description. So this is all the regulations you have to follow when you're installing a wood burning stove. It also covers gas installations and some other things. So it's quite a long document, but the section on wood burning stoves isn't really that long. It's probably about 7 or 8 pages. So just going back to the plan. My house, obviously, it doesn't have a chimney or anything, so I'm going to have to put a flue through the wall. The flue is going to come up roughly 2/3 of the way up the wall and then go through the wall at a 45-degree angle and then up the outside of the wall. And you can see a picture of the outside of the house here. So the flue is going to come out roughly around here, and the flue pipe will go up the outside of the house. Can't draw very straight lines, sorry. And exit here. I believe this distance you have to go up above the edge of the house is 80 centimetres. But as the adjacent house is only 1 metre away, I'm probably going to have to go up a little bit further than 80 centimetres, because I believe the distance you have to be from any part of the other house is 125 centimetres, so I might have to go up about 1 metre above this edge here. So the wood burning stove itself is called the Skiddaw model from Me Flues, which is based in Blackpool, so fairly local business. Good to support local businesses. It came on this little pallet in a kind of plywood box, and these things are really heavy. I actually thought I would have no problem lifting it, but I can barely actually lift it even if I sort of crouch over it and put both hands underneath it. They are really heavy. I was originally going to install the stove on the opposite side of the room, in this position here, but one of the other regulations is that you have to have the front of the stove at least 1 metre away from any soft furnishings, and my settee was just slightly too close for that, which is why I moved the stove over this way and readjusted the furniture a little bit. It actually makes it a lot easier, because if I'd gone out of the wall here, I would have had to go up much higher, due to the fact that that position would be more like here, so it's more or less at the peak of the house. So putting it here makes it a lot easier, actually. Going back to the stove itself, it's a smoke control area exempt. I've heard a lot of people who think that wood burning stoves have somehow been banned in towns, but I don't think that's the case in any town, actually. You just have to get a stove which has been smoke control area exempted by an organisation called DEFRA. It doesn't have the price on here, but I think it was about 700. And you can find a list of the DEFRA smoke control exempted wood burning stoves on this website here, and they're all ordered alphabetically. So if I go to S, I think it's right down at the bottom. There we go. Skiddaw stove from Me Flues. approved to burn wood logs. So just in case you don't trust a manufacturer or a retailer, if they say it's smoke control exempt, then you can check it on this website. For the flue components, I decided to use this company called Trade Price Flues, which is in Stockport, which is another relatively local company. And if I look at these kits they sell, the one that is closest to what I'm doing would be this one. So you can see all the components here that are needed. So as you can see, it's similar to what I'm doing. The only real difference is that I'm going to go up a bit further from the stove here using single wall stovepipe. My thinking behind that was I'd rather use single wall stovepipe here, so heat from the stovepipe will actually radiate out into the room, rather than having the insulated stovepipe immediately going out through the wall. I don't know how scientific that is, but that was just my thinking at the time. One thing I didn't buy straight away was this base support component, which I thought I could get away without initially, but in the end I decided to buy it. So you can see the list of components and the prices I paid at the time. You'd have to add on to that, I think it was £155 for the base support, which I bought much later. So just going back to the building regulations, the requirement to have a 45-degree hole rather than just a horizontal hole is actually part of the building regulations now. Here we go. So it says in bends in flues, this is on page 27. So it says that the angle should not be more than 45 degrees at any point in the flue, and you're actually only allowed 2 bends of 45 degrees. So the total angle of any bends can add up to 90, but you can't have any one bend more than 45 degrees. And that can make things a lot more difficult to install, because the difference in effort between drilling a hole at a 90-degree angle horizontally through a wall and drilling a hole at a 45-degree angle is massive. Well, now all of the components have arrived, as you can see in some of these pictures. That's the weathering cap that goes on top of the flue stack. There's some of the bands that hold the different parts of the flue together. This is called the long T connector, which is the thing that will actually go through the wall. So this long piece here will be the thing that goes through the wall, and this will be outside the wall, this section here. These are just the boxes some of the other sections came in. These are the brackets which attach the flue pipe sections to the outer wall, and these are some of the actual cylindrical sections which will be going outside, up the outside wall. And that's about it for now. So the next video, part 2, is going to cover what is probably the most difficult part of the installation, and that is going to be drilling this 45-degree hole through the wall around here. So make sure you like and subscribe if you're interested in this video series. Thanks very much, and see you next time.